Hello, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. On today is actually Monday. Which actually I think I was live last Monday as well. So yeah, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Um, Mine was quiet, but it was lovely. It was really nice and relaxing. Caught up on some sleep and come up with a few more ideas and stuff. So it's all very good in that direction. Hope you had a good Christmas. Stick in the comments if you did. Obviously today we're going to be using edgefull.com, which you can see on the screen here. Which is all about finding your edge in the market. But first, before we do that, let's go ahead and get some music going. New Year music, what's that? The drum and bass. Well, we don't want that. Try down tempo. That'll do. But what I want is it to be very quiet. Okay, so that would do. That'd be fine. Anyway, I'm done faffing around with the music. So what we're going to do is obviously jump into the chart straight away. What I like to do with my strategy, of course, is to obviously go through the charts before I go into the actual data. I'm going to turn that down a bit. Not sure I like that music at all, actually. Let's try lo-fi. Nothing wrong with lo-fi. If it would work. There we go. Minimal sound. Fantastic. Anyway, right, let's go into the chart. So today's been a funny day. I haven't looked at it too much, but we can see on the SPY here today. Took a bit of a tumble. Obviously, overnight or over the weekend, we had a bit of a drop, a bit of a push in the first couple of candles here. This is the 5-minute candle, you can see. Nice little push up, and then obviously subsequently drop down, creating the initial balance high and an initial balance low. Throughout the day, the initial balance low got broken down into what is now the lows of the day. Pushed up nicely, came back down to retest the initial balance lows, subsequently pushed up since. Looking to kind of push towards high of the day, but we will now just quickly check what the percentage is for, SPY to get back above this level today. I've got a feeling it's probably not very high. So what we do is we come up to our platform, we go to the input section, the report section, sorry, which I'm pretty much always on. So if you go to stock, because we're looking at the SPY, I know it's futures, but you can look at that as well, but I look at the SPY because it just makes a bit more sense to me. And then, of course, up into the bookmarks here, you can see we're going to go to Power Hour Breakout Report. That will then load. It's already loaded. Never mind, it's already on the report. And you can see that there's a 27% chance that a new high of day is going to be made. It's actually quite high. It's higher than normal. It's normally around about 22, 23. I'm guessing, I think last Monday when we were on the stream, it actually broke the high of the day. So obviously, I must have spoken about how it may have been like 25, 26, and now obviously it's going to be a bit higher to 27. So there's a 27% chance that it gets above this line today. We won't be looking at that today because I think there's a better one out there. I think Tesla's looking pretty good, potentially. I know there's only 25 minutes left of the market, but that's how it goes sometimes. Oh, I'm trying to misplace my hand. The cable was a bit skew with. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's cycle through some of these. QQQ, bit of a drop now. Same as the SPY. Oh, what happened there? Also taking a little bit of a drop. Not too bad. If we can find a bit of support around here, that'd be good. But that's not why we're here. Let's have a look at the stocks then. Amazon started the power hour. So this, we'll take out the initial balance breakout report here. This is the power hour indicator, which obviously you do get free when you sign up for Edgefull, and you can just punch in your so for me it's Sean C Trades up here in the top left hand corner. For you it'd be something different, of course. And then you just basically get all the indicators for free, and it'll be under invite only. You can see all of them on the screen. There's loads of them, obviously loads of them for different strategies within the Edgefull platform. Some on market open, some are on market close, some are kind of during the market. Loads of different things to get your sink your teeth into. And on that note, I need to put it in the description as well. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. So I've been using, Edgeful now for quite a few months, and I have made good money on it, and I'm happy with it, and all may it continue. Right, that's that done for now. Oh, we'll get a bit of a bounce on Amazon. So you could see the data here for Edgeful for Amazon just while we're here. So we've got the power hour breakout report up, and then we have to go to Amazon, which is on our watch list here. And then we've got on the screen here, we've got the details here of 16% new high of day made and 15% new low of day made. Now, of course, Amazon is trading near the highs of the day so far, so there's a 16% chance it gets back above this line. And then what you can do, which is also a really good tip, once you've got the report up on the screen here, you've chosen your stock, you've got your correct report here, with the power hour breakout report. A lot of these reports will have a sub report. You can see that just above my head there on the left. You can just tap on that. Obviously, standard is what we can see in front of us. This is the last 6 months of data, which obviously goes towards the power hour time frame, as you can see just there on the bottom of the screen. But you can actually switch it to the weekday, specific weekday. So if we switch over to the specific weekday, we can see now we've got in the last 6 months every Monday's data. So actually there's a big difference here for Amazon. So make sure you do click on this if you are looking at the power hour breakout report. Let's go back to the original. So standard, we've got 1616 pretty much on the screen there. And then with the weekday one, instead of 1616, we've got 2816. So actually there's a 28% chance on Mondays that Amazon stock goes back above this line. So there's a big difference there. So 16% is a lot less likely than 28%, of course. And that's where you kind of dive into the details of each report and having a look at those sub reports. And it's the same with most of the reports as well, that you can get on Edgeful. With the initial balance breakout report, they have sub reports as well. So diving into these kind of niches and finding your way around the market and finding your edge is definitely the way forward, for that particular move on your strategy. Man Ram, hello. We met again. For those of you who don't know, Man Ram joins me every Sunday with Kay. We talk about stocks. Slightly different live stream, slightly different area, but of course, it all kind of come into one because we'll talk about trading. We'll kind of try to make money as best we can. So, welcome, Man Ram. Good to have you along. Right, so we're going to continue cycling through the stocks. So Amazon, trading near the highs, not too bad. Barber, I think, is kind of smack in the middle. I did have a little scan before I came on. Excuse me. Cough. Nvidia dropping into the close, not too bad, but it looks like it's kind of presenting ourselves with a bit of a trend line going into the close. Maybe somewhere like there-ish. We could actually draw that from right at the beginning. That's a big old trend line. We don't really trade this with the Edgeful platform because it's not near enough the highs of the day or the lows of the day. Apple dropping down to the middle, so we're not too fussed about that. Google did actually break the highs of the day. So let's go back to the Edgeful platform and have a look at what the data lies around for that. So there is a 28% chance that today it broke the new highs of the day. So 28% chance it broke this green line, and it did. In fact, it did on the turn of the hour. No, it didn't. That's the top of the candle there. It dropped down a bit. It took about 15 minutes for it to come back up there. But nevertheless, good move from Google, actually. Good recovery throughout the day, coming back flat. It was trading Well, actually, it would have been from here, wouldn't it? So from there, it was trading at 1 point, down 1%. Actually, that's not as dramatic as I thought it would be. But yeah, similar to Amazon, we do have trend line. Not Amazon, sorry, Nvidia. Do have a trend line kind of flowing through there as well, just teetering on the edge there. So this could possibly be a good entry for a trend line trader if you are a trend line trader. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for using Edgepool. This could be a good example. Actually, this could be a really good example. So what we have here is a trend line, which looks like it's about to be broken potentially. Obviously, it's not broken yet. Nothing's certain. It could just punch up through there. And we've got highs of the day, and we've got the stock traveling near the highs of the day here. So what we would do is go back to our Edgepool platform, check out Meta. Obviously, we're already in the power hour breakout report. You can see that on the screen here. And actually, we've got a 12% likelihood on a Monday, because we're still on the Mondays here, as you can just about see. On a Monday, there's 12% chance that there's a new high of day made in the last hour. So there's a 12% chance that price action gets above this line. So what you could do is place a short trade on a break of a trend line. So you could couple that with obviously your technical analysis throughout the day. Good way of doing it. Obviously your stop loss would be just above the high of the day, because that's where the data lies. And your target price can either be, supports and resistances, that kind of stuff, or what I like to use is actually the initial balance breakout report, which we touched on earlier, which is the first hour of trading. First hour of trading, which is this green box you can see just above my head there. And you can see that kind of populates kind of its own little Fibonacci area. So you can even do here, which is like a 1-for-1 trade. Not really what I look for in the last hour or so, especially if we do get a break of a strong trend line that's been kind of flowing out through that the whole day. I would probably go for a bit more of a more substantial breakdown, and this is down to this sort of level of 656 for Meta, and that would be a ratio of 1.82. But do be warned, of course, there is a bit of support here. Obviously, we've got the trend line, we've got a bit of volume profile on the right side, and we do have this this kind of retracement line as well, the initial balance breakout. So there is support here, but what I'm saying is, obviously, if we do get a break, it could be a strong break potentially. But I'm not going to trade this today, because I wanted to look at Tesla. It might be a bit late now because I've been waffling so long, and it looks as though that wouldn't have mattered anyway, because what we've got here is obviously the lows of the day have been broken. So if we go back to the platform, go to Tesla, standard procedure, and then we will go have a look at the downside. So on a Monday, this is mad. In the last 6 months, on a Monday, Tesla, well, actually, where's the actual days frequency? New low of day made. It's only made one in the last 6 months on a Monday, which is crazy. It's actually just made two because it's just broken the lows of the day. So that's now two instead of one. So this percentage next Monday will be probably like 6%, maybe something like that. So stuff like that you're going to watch out for. Of course, it could be a bit of a fake out, and you could kind of punch up. So if you really wanted to, you could get in here, but it's just not where the data lies. That's not what we're trading for. That's your own strategy at this point. But what I would have really liked is this to hold, get in at this level, and have a stop loss below the lows of the day. So for example, if price action actually traded to about here and then pushed up, held the lows of the day, then you'd have the stop loss below the lows of the day, and then you would obviously have a target price maybe somewhere here, which is just over 2 to 1, 2.5 to 1, and then we will go back to our normal kind of strategy here and go to the initial balance breakout indicator up there in the top left hand corner, and then we would look at the most recent lines that we could probably potentially hit, and we could probably hit that one there. So that's what we're looking for. It didn't play out this way for Tesla today, but Meta could be playing out that way, because you can see here this trend line that we've spoken about has broken actually. not completely. I like to have another candle on top of the one that breaks, because of course one candle is not a break. In my opinion, of course, it's different for different time frames, I think, personally. But on the shorter time frames, I do definitely like a second candle break, for sure. Before we go any further, bring up a couple of graphics here, shall we? You can obviously get Edgeville on edgeville.com. There's also a link down below in YouTube if you're watching it on YouTube. And there's also a link down below in the X channel if you're watching it on X. Alternatively, I say alternatively, as well as that, you can subscribe to me on YouTube and X at SeanTrades_, of course. I wonder if I can move this over the other side, because that's quite annoying. It's kind of on my face. But hey. Let's have a look at the actual market, shall we? See how it's going. A bit of a pullback. Did we have it on the SPY? I mean, it's the same thing, but I'll do it on the SPY, because there is a trend line that's kind of quite common throughout the whole day, actually, with a lot of stocks. We've got Meta, we've got Tesla and Nvidia. No, not Tesla. Nvidia with the trend line there. Apple to a certain extent. Google definitely. And Meta. So these trend lines are looking to kind of break. The only one that hasn't is Amazon. I think Barber as well. I know Barber kind of does has one. Yes, this could break. But I'm staying away from this today. What's going on here? Get rid of that for now. It's much of a laser show then. Okay, yeah, we'll just watch this for a second. As we said before, the metadata is a 12% chance, as you can see on the screen here. 12% new high of day. That's what NHOD stands for. 12% chance it gets back above this line. So what we've got is a trade that started ish here. I haven't opened the trade because I like to have a second candle, of which there is a minute and a half left of this candle, so it could keep getting pushed down, or the buyers could come in and save that trend line. Of course, you do have the kind of added interest of even lower time frames. If we come down to the 1 minute, it could actually just be a retest of the trend line, as you can see there. We'll zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole chart. Well, I'm in the way. So you can see the lows there on the screen, so we'll drag that down. So it could actually just be a break of the trend line, coming back up to retest it. But for me, I like to trade on the 5 minute time frame. 1 minute, I've been there, done that. Not overly comfortable with it. I am some days, and some days I'm not. Kind of chops and changes. But the 5 minute chart is definitely the one for me, that's for sure. So it looks like we're going to get that break to the downside. So you could enter the chart, enter the stock. Not now, the candle hasn't closed yet. Be patient. So the candle's closed. So you could theoretically have got in, I don't know why it jumped up there, but you can get in there on the candle entry. The stop loss would be up here, and it's only 0.2%, it's not too bad. Of course, as I mentioned before, we have the data showing that there's a 12% chance on a Monday, which today is Monday, that this goes back above this green line, essentially. And you can do this for loads of different stocks. It's not just Meta, it's not just the Mag 7. I'm just choosing these because it's easier to kind of do the examples. But if we go back to the Edgefield, we can see my watch list here on the right side. I've got lots of different stocks, obviously the Mag 7 mainly, and then you've got Barber, AMD, SoFi, Rivian, Hood, Palantir, and JD as well. So, and then the way to add to those, obviously, is to go to the menu, watch list, type them in, and then obviously hit the plus sign here on the right side, and then boom, it comes down into your watch list down there in the right hand corner. And likewise, you can just get rid of them by pressing the little bins here. So say I don't really trade JD, so let's get rid of that. So I've clicked the bin there, and now JD is gone off of my watch list. It's really, really simple, really, really quick, really, really easy. Let's go back to Power Hour Breakout Report and Meta. So you can see how quickly I just did that. And I've got that data that I had up earlier straight away. What I haven't got is the weekday. So we need to choose the sub report as we did earlier. Right, let's get up the market at the same time. Oh, doing that thing where it syncs. There we go. So let's do that on the left. So on the right, we've got Meta. On the left, we've got SPY for now. SPY pushing down, Meta pushing up-ish. What have we got left? 8 minutes, the market? Not too bad. If you've got any questions around the Edgefield platform, obviously feel free to DM me, put it in chat, put it wherever you want. As long as I can see it, of course. I'll put it anywhere. NIO is up 5%. Fantastic. Long way to go. Weird to see NIO up 5% and Alibaba down almost 3%. Contrasting days. Normally China moves with China, which is a shame. So even if you were to get into this trade, it's not really looking likely that it's going to even mature to anything down here. So I think it's just a little bit too late, I think, thinking about it. But these are the moves you get in the last kind of 10-15 minutes or so. There's a lot of volatility. This time of year, probably not, which sometimes is better for you because you can kind of control the move a bit more. But definitely when it's kind of like a normal day, you do get a lot more movement. I know this candle here on the left side for SPY is looking a bit dramatic to the downside, but it's still got a lot of support underneath here for now. You could see a temporary punch down, but then a kind of recovery overnight. He says, cue that. This time tomorrow it'll be down 3%. I like to have the US 500 because it's got a little bit more edge to it. Yeah, so it's breaking that trend line now. We are getting a bit of a dramatic candle. This is now got 5 minutes left. That's a really dramatic candle. Have a look around. What's going on? So Tesla having a big drop, so that's really taken down. So that obviously would have been a loss, of course. We didn't get into that either, of course. But it would have been this loss and not this loss, and potentially holding it. That's discipline for you. Microsoft, not doing much really, to be fair. Wrong one. Meta, we're watching that already. Google kind of holding this trend line as best as possible. Apple kind of flailing around in the middle for today. Nvidia pushing up into the close, nice to see. In fact, it's been pushing up all day. Barber pushing up as well, which would be nice. Highs of the day obviously set pretty much in the first 5 minutes, but the second highs of the day are being tested now. And then finally, Amazon having a bit of a drop, bit of a strop into the close, but that's okay. We'll go back to Meta. We'll watch Meta for now. Yeah, if you look on the left side of the screen, we get a bit of a drop on SPY for now. I just wonder, can you actually hear the music? Because I can hear it, but I mean, you know, it's not too loud, hopefully. I'll be back here next time on Friday. Friday night, closing the week out on the live stream. Will be a new year as well, would you believe? 2026. Yeah. It's been a fun year, 2025. It's been tricky at times, but you know, you push through them, get through the goals, get through the barriers, push forward to be even better. Well, this is sad price action going into the close, isn't it? Oh no, never mind. Look at that. What we'll do is we'll go back to the single chart because where we are. Oh, SPY. Nice and big. There you go. Couple of minutes left. It's really trying to hold on to this this trend line. I'm not too sure where this yellow line came from. This must be from a bigger time frame. Let's have a look. Yes, it appears it is. I must have drawn that at some point in the last couple of days. So we get rid of that for now. Yeah, you can see that's just basically a previous resistance and support. Broke down, coming back up to kind of retest it and not getting through that at all. But we do have a lot of volume here on the right side. So this could be a potential reversal here, come back down and then push up. Although that's had a bit of news in the corner there. Yep, break of the trend line is looking like it's been confirmed. It's been fun. We've talked about quite a few options today. Talked again about how to kind of get in and manage the trades with the Edgeful platform. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. One and done, it seems, for sneezing today. But yeah, we talked about that. We talked about a couple of the indicators as well, and we talked about the up and the downside, as well as looking into the reports here and using the sub-report section in not just the power outbreak report, but in lots of different reports as well. Maybe next session we can talk a bit about the power hour continuation report. Haven't spoken about that for quite some time, so it'd be good to kind of dive into that. and got to see how that works. Yeah, but we'll do that on Friday, shall we? Let's do that on Friday. That'd be fun. But yeah, make sure you come and drop in on Friday if you can. Until then, trade safe, take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next stream. Take care, everyone.